What if Deku joined Team JPDE? Halloween special. It's Halloween. Let's go trick-or-treating, Evelyn yelled. Evelyn, it's too early to go trick-or-treating. And besides, we don't have any costumes, Jack said. That's what you think, Evelyn said. Huh, Jack said. What's Halloween? David asked. Halloween is day that the Grimm are said to be at their most powerful, so people started having festivals to ward off the Grimm. But nowadays it's turned into a night of spooks and scares and go trick-or-treating, Penny said. I see, but what's trick-or-treating? David asked. People dress up in costumes and go around knocking on doors and then receiving candy, or they go around to cause mischief, like throwing toilet paper over people's homes, Izuku said. I see. Seems pretty stupid, but what do I know? David said. Hold on, how do you know about Halloween? Do they have something similar back on your planet? Jack asked. Yes. May cultures back home have a day like Halloween. Most cultures believed that on a certain date, around this time, the divide between the living and dead realms become their weakest, allowing spirits to enter our world, but as Penny said, it's become a holiday of dressing up and receiving candy. Weirdly enough, it's also called Halloween, Deku said. That's strange. How has Halloween evolved on both planets and have the same name? Penny asked. Well, the universe is big, it's not impossible for it to happen. Also, I'm also a human, which is even weirder. Also, our months are the same, days in a year, Izuku said, starting to mutter. Never mind the many similarities between our planets. It's Halloween, let's celebrate it the right way. Now I have, Evelyn said. Hold your horses, carrots. We have classes first, Jack said. Damn it. Why did Halloween have to be during a school day this year? Evelyn said. The rest of Team JPDE laughed before then getting ready for school. They entered the cafeteria and grabbed breakfast before sitting down next to Team RWBY. Team JPDE then saw that Ruby had a cake. Hey Ruby, what's with the cake? Izuku asked. Because it's my birthday, Ruby said. Wait, it's your birthday? Penny asked. Ruby, did you not tell Team JPDE that your birthday is today? Weiss asked. No, Ruby said sheepishly. You dolt, Weiss yelled. I must hurry then and find a gift that will level up our friendship, Penny said. Penny, it's fine. You don't need to get me a present, you're already a gift in my life, Ruby said. Penny blushed. Look at my little sister, picking up girls, Young teased. Young Ruby yelled. So your birthday is on Halloween? What's that like? Jack asked. It's great. I get presents and then I can go out trick-or-treating and get tons of candy, Ruby said. And there you eat it all in one sitting and get sick the next day, Young said. It's always worth it, Ruby said. It doesn't sound like that when I'm taking care of you, Young said. Worth it, I say, Ruby said. So, you are going trick-or-treating tonight? Ruby Evelyn asked. Yep. All of us and Team JNP are going trick-or-treating together, Ruby said. Weiss and Blake are going trick-or-treating, David asked. And what does that mean? Weiss and Blake asked. I just didn't think you two would be the types to go trick-or-treating, David said. Well, I have never been trick-or-treating before, and so I would like to participate, Weiss said. And you, Blake? Izuku asked. I've dressed up in costume before, though not for Halloween. It'll be nice to do it again, Blake said. What else are you dressing up for? Izuku asked. I think you know, Blake said. Izuku blushed as he realized what Blake usually dressed up for. Hey, you guys want to join us? Young asked. Sure, why not? We were going trick-or-treating already, Jack said. Great. And since you'll be joining us, I wouldn't mind accepting some of your candy as a present, Ruby said. Ruby, no. Do you not remember what happened last time? Young yelled. What happened last time? Evelyn asked. Young had sabotaged by costume, by getting rid of it or replacing it with a bin, Ruby said. That's not what happened. Before last year, Ruby had always used her birthday to get more candy, especially from me. At first, I was okay with it, but as the years went on, I started getting frustrated with her, and stopped giving her my candy. I kept my candy hidden, but Ruby would find it and eat it all. So last year I decided to get some revenge, so I replaced her costume with a bin, Young said. That's evil, Young. Guess she learned her lesson by getting no candy that year, Evelyn said. She learned her lesson, but she still got candy, Young said. Nothing will stop me from getting free candy, Ruby yelled. You wore the bin, Penny asked. Yep. Embarrassment is temporary, sweet candy is eternal, Ruby said. When will you grow up, Wise asked. Never, Ruby yelled. The others laughed. They then finished eating breakfast and headed to class. Hours later, Team JPDE had returned to their dorm room. Alright everyone. It's time to go trick-or-treating, Evelyn said. But Evelyn, we don't have any costumes, Jack asked. Don't we, Evelyn said. Evelyn then pulled 4 boxes from under her bed. I should have expected this from you, Jack said. So this is why you were too busy for sex, and left Penny to pick up the slack, Izuku said. Wow, Izu, and here I thought I was the horny one, Evelyn said. Well, a certain rabbit had a big influence on me, Izuku said. That's not the only big thing I can influence, Evelyn said. Okay, can we save the sex talk for later, until I'm out of the room, Jack said. Moo. You're no fun, Evelyn said. You try listening to you 4 having sex every night, Jack said. I've heard Izuku and David fuck Penny from both ends, Evelyn said. Okay. Evelyn, let's see those costumes, David yelled, blushing. I agree with David. What have you made, Penny asked, also blushing. No spoilers, Evelyn said. Evelyn then handed out the boxes to her teammates. David and Izuku entered the kitchen to change, Jack headed to the bathroom, Penny and Evelyn changed in the main room. David had received a butler outfit, whilst Izuku got a trench coat and short with a blindfold. Girls, are you ready? David asked. Maybe, but what do you mean by ready? Ready as in changed, or ready as in for you two? Evelyn asked. Alright, if you two are naked then that's your fault, Deku said. You've gotten so bold, Izu, Evelyn said. Izuku and David then exited the kitchen to see that Penny and Evelyn were dressed. Evelyn was dressed in a sexy magician's outfit whilst Penny was dressed similar to Izuku. She was wearing a black dress and also wearing a blindfold. You two look amazing. At least I think so, this blindfold makes it very hard to see, Izuku said. Indeed. Couldn't you have made the blindfolds more see-through? I have to turn my ocular sensors all the way up to see at least a few feet in front of me, Penny said. Sorry. I'll make sure to change that next time, Evelyn said. Wait, Penny, you're also wearing a blindfold, Izuku asked. Indeed. And from what I can see, it appears we are a set, Penny said. You two do look very similar, David said. You are correct, Penny. You and Izuku are a set, Evelyn said. Well, I wish I could actually see her. I can only see like 2 feet in front of me, Izuku said. Izuku then began to walk forward to get a better view of Penny. However, Izuku did not notice the box on the floor in his path. Izuku then tripped on the box and crashed into Penny, causing her to fall along with him. Izuku managed to stop himself from falling into Penny's chest, because his hands were already there. Penny moaned as Izuku's hands pressed against her chest. Sorry, Penny, Izuku said. It's okay, Izuku. My chest is always free for you to use, Penny said. I meant falling on you. I already know your chest is fair game, Izuku said. Oh, Penny said. Stop being horny, you two. You can save it for later, Evelyn said. Izuku then got up, allowing Penny to get up as well. Oh, so we're having a special night tonight. Is it going to be here or down in Vale? David asked. in Vale. I'm feeling nice, so I'll allow Jack to get some sleep tonight, Evelyn said. Speaking of Jack, shouldn't she be changed by now, Izuku asked. She should be, Evelyn said. Evelyn then walked up to the bathroom and knocked on the door. Jack. Are you changed? Evelyn asked. I hate you carrots, Jack said. Really? Why? Evelyn asked. You damn well know why, Jack said. Evelyn giggled. Evelyn, what have you done? David asked. Nothing, Evelyn said. Jack. Just come out. It can't be that bad, Izuku said. Yes, it is, Jack said. Are you dressed as a slutty succubus? Izuku asked. No, Jack said. Then come on out, Izuku said. Fine, Jack said. Izuku's got you on a short leash, kinky, Evelyn said. Shut up, Izuku said. Jack then came out of the bathroom dressed in a maid outfit. See, that wasn't so bad, Izuku said. Says you. You're not the one dressed as a maid, Jack said. Oh, you're a maid. I couldn't tell on the account of this blindfold, Izuku said. Okay. I messed up with that, I get it. Now can we go now? Evelyn asked. Sure. I can't wait to go trick-or-treating, Penny said. Team JPDE, roll out, Evelyn said. Team JPDE then headed to the Bullhead Landing. As they made their way through the dormitory hallway, Penny realized something. Hold on everyone, Penny said. What is it, Penny? David asked. I've forgotten my scroll back in our dorm room. Izuku, mind coming back to help me look for it? Penny asked. Sure, Izuku said. Shouldn't the rest of us help? Evelyn said. That won't be necessary. The rest of you go wait for us at the Bullhead Landing. Call Izuku when the Bullhead is about to leave if we're not back by then. I'll just have to go without it, Penny said. Fair enough, Jack said. Izuku and Penny then returned to their dorm room. So, Penny, where did you put your scroll when getting changed? Izuku asked. Oh, Izuku. We don't need to look for my scroll because it's right here, Penny said, pulling her scroll out of her chest. Okay, 1, why is your scroll in your chest? Second, why did you lie? Izuku asked. To answer your first question. This outfit doesn't have any pockets, and second, Penny said. Penny then got up close with Izuku. You touching my chest made me very horny. Please fuck me so hard that you cause me to reboot, Penny said, grabbing Izuku's crotch. How can a robot be so horny? Izuku asked. I learn from my surroundings and interactions, Penny said. Guess we should hurry then, Izuku said, grabbing Penny's butt. It had been quite a while since Izuku and Penny had left them. Jack was standing close to the Bullhead, while David and Evelyn were sat on a bench close by. Evelyn was sitting on David's lap, and it seemed that some suspicious was happening between them. The Bullhead was about to leave and Jack and called Izuku 3 times but got no answer. Carrots, Jack said. Evelyn said. Go to our room and grab Izuku and Penny. Izuku isn't answering, Jack said. Why don't you go? I'm kind of busy, Evelyn said. Because I know my team. They're fucking each other and I don't want to see that. Also, you need to stop fucking David, otherwise you'll turn him into a husk, Jack said. Moo. Fine, Evelyn said. Evelyn then got off David and Jack quickly looked away. Evelyn then headed off to the dormitory whilst David cleaned up. Sorry about our libidos, David said. It's fine. There's nothing I can do about it, Jack said. You could join us, David said. Ha. Sorry, but I'm not into tall blondes, Jack said. What about short, muscular, green boys, David said. Shut up, Jack blushed. Back at the dorm. Izuku had realized that he had missed 3 calls from. The two quickly cleaned up and headed into the hallway. Hello there, Evelyn said. General Kenobi, Izuku said. What? Evelyn said. Never mind, So how long have you been there? Izuku asked. Long enough to get off, Evelyn said. Jack sent you to come get us, didn't she? Penny asked. Yep, Evelyn said. Welp. Guess we have to face the music, Izuku said. Izuku, Penny and Evelyn then made their way to the Bullhead landing. They arrived just as the Bullhead left. Jack. Sorry for Izuku said. I don't want to hear it. I know what you two were up to. Just make sure we don't miss the next Bullhead, Jack said. Yes, Izuku and Penny said. Jack then walked off. I'll call Ruby and tell her to start without us, Penny said. You do that, then afterwards show David some love. I'm gonna show Izuku my special magic trick, Evelyn said. I will, Penny said. Evelyn then took Izuku into a cluster of trees. Evelyn then pinned Izuku to a tree. Izuku grabbed her butt as she did. So, what's your special magic trick? Izuku asked. I think you know. I'm going to make your dick disappear, Evelyn said. 30 minutes later the next Bullhead arrived, and this time Team JPDE boarded it. They soon arrived in Vale. Alright. Let's go trick-or-treating. Remember, my loves. We'll meet back here at 12 for the after party, Evelyn said. Right, Izuku said. Okay, David said. Of course, Penny said. I thank you for having the after party in Vale rather than our dorm room, Jack said. You're welcome. Now let's go, night light is burning, Evelyn said. You mean reflecting, Penny said. Whatever. Let's go, Evelyn said. Evelyn then took off and the other then split off. Izuku had noticed that Penny and Ruby had met up, though Ruby's costume caught his interest. She was wearing a bin. It's okay, Ruby. At least you're able to go trick-or-treating, Penny said. Yeah, I guess so, Ruby said. Hey girls, Izuku said. Hi, Izuku. Hey boyfriend, Ruby said. So, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Why are you dressed as a bin, Ruby? Izuku said. Ruby sighed. This wasn't the costume I planned to wear. I planned to wear a slutty succubus costume, but as we were walking to the Bullhead landing, one on my heels broke and I fell down in a patch of mud, completely ruining my costume, Ruby said. Why were you going as a succubus? I'm surprised Young would allow that, Izuku asked. To seduce you and David. And well, I didn't tell Young what I was going as, Ruby admitted. I see. But why the bin? Izuku asked. Well, Young brought this as a joke, she swapped it with my costume. But now I'm stuck wearing this stupid costume and I can't get a new one now. And I so wanted you two to be smitten over me. What terrible luck on my birthday, Ruby said. Ruby, there is a way to make your costume more slutty, Penny said. Really? How? Ruby asked. Well, first we need David's help, Penny said. Penny. You're not thinking, Izuku asked. You want us to what? David asked. You two will fuck Ruby and come all over her, turning her costume into a cum dumpster, Penny said. Ruby, you can't be going along with this, can you? David asked. Well, I did want to have you two for my birthday. That's why I wanted to be a succubus, Ruby said. Izuku? David asked. If Ruby wants this, I see no reason to refuse, Izuku said. Ruby. Is this what you really want? David asked. Yes. Please make me your cum dumpster, Ruby said. David and Izuku then proceeded to fulfill Ruby's wish. Afterwards Penny took care of Ruby as she recovered. Izuku saw Weiss wearing what looked to be a hunter outfit that would have been worn many years ago. Hey, Weiss. Nice costume, Izuku said. Oh, hello love. Thanks for the compliment, Weiss said. You look like you've been pulled straight out of those history books Professor Oblek has us read, Izuku said. Indeed. Though it may not be up to the standards of clothing I wear, I've always liked clothes from the past. In fact, this costume was based on one my ancestors wore, Weiss said. I see. It fits you nicely, Izuku said. Thanks, but I wish I had her figure. Why am I the only shini without any tits or ass? Suias said. Hey, don't say that. You may not have big tits, but you do have an impressive ass, Izuku said. You think so? Weiss asked, blushing. I do, also those hips are to die for, Izuku said. Then how about you take a closer look? Weiss asked, moving closer to Izuku. I prefer to touch rather than stare, Izuku said, grabbing Weiss's butt. Then touch to your heart's content, Weiss said. Weiss and Izuku then headed into an alley to have some fun. Afterwards Weiss and Izuku went their separate ways. Izuku then saw Blake up on a roof too. She was wearing a witch's outfit. Izuku jumped up and landed on the rooftop. Hey Blake. Hang up on rooftops as usual, Izuku said. Hi, Izuku. Rooftops are my safe space. I like high places, Blake said. I noticed. You look good in your costume, Izuku said. Thanks, you look good too, Blake said. Thanks, though may I suggest you step back from the edge, Izuku said. Why? I'm not going to fall, Blake said. I know. But you are wearing a skirt, Izuku said. You better not have looked, Blake said. Forgive me, but I had to. Your ass put a spell on me, but I was only temporary, Izuku said. Then I guess I should put a more permanent spell on you, Blake said, hiking up her skirt and pressing her ass to his crotch. Do your worst, witch, Izuku said, slapping Blake's ass. Izuku saw Young down the street. She was wearing a white crop top with a short black skirt with straps that went over her shoulder. He noticed that she was in a crowd of people, some who were exposed in important areas. Young then noticed him and walked up. Hey Deku, nice costume, the blindfold is very kinky, Young said. Hello Young. Your costume looks really good on you, Izuku said. Thanks. What do you like about it, Young asked. The girl wearing it, Izuku said. You flirt. I like the bulge in your costume, Young said. What bulge, Izuku asked. That one, Young said, flashing her tits at Izuku. Izuku blushed profusely. See, Young said. Izuku then lifted up Young's top, exposing her chest. Young quickly covered her chest. Izuku. We're in public, Young yelled. Then why are you so wet, Izuku asked. Because we're in public, Young said, letting her tits free. The two soon drew a crowd as they went at it, getting many cheers. Some tried to join, but Young and Izuku wouldn't let them. I was a fight between dragons. Izuku noticed Pyrrha off by herself looking very upset. Hey Pyrrha, what's the matter, Izuku asked. Hey Izuku, nothing's wrong. I'm fine, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha. You can't fool me, what's the matter, Izuku asked. It's Jaun, Pyrrha said. Oh no. What has he done now, Izuku asked. You see my costume, Pyrrha asked. Yeah, purple crop top and short skirt. You look very good. And makes you very sexy, Izuku said. Thanks, Pyrrha said, blushing. Anyway, we were supposed to go as a couple's set, but he forgot his costume, Pyrrha said. I see. Must be disappointing. Me and Penny went as a set, Izuku said. I wish I could have the relationship you have, Pyrrha said. A harem, Izuku asked. You know what I mean, Pyrrha said. So, where's Jaun, Izuku asked. He's in the store trying to find a costume, Pyrrha said. I see. Well, I hope for you that things go well between the one you love, Izuku said. I hope so too. Though. There is someone else I like, Pyrrha said. Oh, and who might they be, Izuku asked. They are standing right in front of me, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha then kissed Izuku. How much time do we have, Izuku asked. Enough, Pyrrha said. Pyrrha then kissed Izuku again and pulled him into an ally. A while later Jaun left the store. Sorry Pyrrha. I couldn't find any costumes, they're all sold out, Jang said. Jang then noticed Izuku. Oh, hey Izuku. Hey Jang. How are you, Izuku asked. I'm good, though I wish I wasn't so stupid I forgot my costume, Jang said. Don't worry Jang, there's always next time, Pyrrha said. You're right, Jang said. Jang then noticed the two looked very disheveled. Hey, what happened? You two look very messy, Jang said. Oh, that's because Pyrrha said. A large gust of wind blew by, Izuku said. I see. I hope you didn't see Pyrrha's. Otherwise, she couldn't get married, Jang said. Don't worry. I didn't see her underwear, Izuku said. That's good. Pyrrha. I feel really bad for messing up, so can I get you anything, Jang asked. A drink would be nice. I'm quite thirsty, Pyrrha said. Okay. You want a drink as well, Izuku, Jang asked. Yes please. You can get me anything, Izuku said. Alright, I'll be back soon, Jang said. Jang then left. Want to go for round 2, Izuku asked. Rail me, Pyrrha said, leaping into Izuku's arms. Izuku saw Nora and Ren carrying buckets full of candy. Ren wasn't in a costume, but Nora had a whole goth look. Looks like someone is having a good Halloween, Izuku said. Hi Izuku. And I'm having an excellent Halloween, Nora said, being very bouncy. And how much candy have you had, Izuku asked. Hey. I haven't had that much candy, Nora said. Nora, you've had 3 buckets already, Ren said. That's not that much, Nora said. Compared to you maybe, but to others. That's enough candy to make others sick, Izuku said. Not me. I'm the best candy eater ever, Nora said. Ruby would say otherwise, Izuku said. Red can think that. No one can defeat Nora, Nora said. I can, Izuku said. You think you can eat more candy than me, Nora asked. No, but I can defeat your libido, Izuku said. I'll like to see you try, Nora said. I'll go put all this candy back at our dorm room, Ren said. Thanks, Rennie, you're the best, Nora said. Anything for you, Nora, Ren said, kissing Nora on the cheek before leaving. Why do you have to be asexual, Ren, Nora asked. Because that's who he is. And you shouldn't get mad at him for that, Izuku said. I'm not mad. I just wish he could enjoy sex like I do, Nora said. Even if he did, you'd break him like a twig. But luckily for your libido, I am here, Izuku said. You mean luckily for your libido, Nora said. Bring it on then, Izuku said. I will, Nora said. In the end, Nora's libido lost out to Izuku's. Izuku had noticed that Jack was hiding in an alley. So, why is the strong fearless leader of Team JPDE hiding in an alleyway, Izuku asked. Ah, Izuku, you scared me, Jack said. Sorry, but why are you hiding, Izuku asked. I'm embarrassed. People have been staring at me, and I know they've been staring at my legs. They're too muscular, I need legs like Evelyn's to wear something like this. Jack, they aren't weirded out by your legs, Izuku said. How do you know that, Jack asked. Because some people are into it, Izuku said. Into what, Jack said. Some people like to be suffocated to death in thick thighs, others would like to have their head torn off by muscular legs, Izuku said. What, Jack said. Of course, I don't mean they want to die. It's just that some people are into muscular girls, Izuku said. Ah. Are you into muscular girls with strong muscular thighs, Jack asked, blushing. I don't know. Never been in a pair. But I wouldn't mind seeing if I do. Do you know anyone, Izuku asked, pulling Jack close. I think I know someone, Jack said. Izuku then found out that he did indeed like girls with muscular legs. Izuku was walking down the street. He then felt a kick hit his leg. Izuku knew exactly who this was. Hey Neo. What are you dressed up as? Izuku asked, turning around. Izuku saw Neo wearing a short brown dress with ice cream cone-like stockings. Izuku blushed at seeing Neo. Wow, Izuku said. Neo laughed and then spun around, showing off her rear. Izuku's face went red as the skirt on her dress was very, very short. Izuku then saw parts of Neo's dress drip off. Wait. Neo. That's not a dress, is it? Izuku asked. Neo smirked. She then ran her finger across her dress. It wasn't a dress, it was chocolate. Neo. Why are you covered in chocolate? Izuku asked. Neo spun around and was holding a sign. Because I'm ice cream. Neo then flipped the sign around. Now come eat your ice cream. Neo then flipped the sign around again. Or fuck it. Neo then spun around and spread her ass, showing she wasn't wearing anything. Izuku then turned Neo from chocolate ice cream into vanilla ice cream. Izuku saw Cinder and Emerald. Cinder was wearing a blue dress. Emerald was a purple suit with a white hoodie. Cinder then noticed Izuku and walked up to him, followed by Emerald. Well, hello there Izuku, and may I say you look very good in your costume, Cinder said. Thanks. You two look very good. Hi Emerald, Izuku said. Hey Emerald said. I see you're still as fashionable as ever, Izuku said. Thank you. But you're going to try harder to get under my dress, Cinder said. And who said I was trying to do that? Izuku asked. I can tell, Cinder said. Cinder then bit Izuku on his lower lip. You really want to go again after last time? Izuku asked. You don't improve by giving up, Cinder said. You gave up before you even passed out last time, Izuku said. I like it when a man dominates me, Cinder said. If you're gonna fuck, can I go? I don't want to stick around, Emerald said. No, Cinder said. No, Emerald asked. You're going to help me put Izu in his place, Cinder said. What? Emerald asked. I'd like to see you try, Izuku said. Oh, Emerald has a particular set of skills that would prove you otherwise, Cinder said. Then let's see, Izuku said. Follow me then, Cinder said, dragging Izuku away. Come along, Emerald, Cinder said. Yes, Emerald said. Izuku could tell that Emerald was more into Cinder than him, but she still did what Cinder wanted. In the end, Cinder had passed out and Izuku and Emerald were on the verge of passing out. Izuku just managed to outlast Emerald. He put Emerald next to Cinder before he left. As Izuku left the hotel room, he turned and crashed into someone. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you, Izuku said. It's alright, the woman said. Izuku then got a good look at the woman he ran into. She looked like an older version of Janara. What's the matter, cat, got your tongue? The woman asked. You could say that. I never expected Janara's mother to be a MILF, Izuku said. Excuse me, the woman asked. You heard what I said, Janara's mother, Izuku said. It's Salem, you rude boy, Salem said. You call me rude? I have good reason to believe you're the guiding hand of Cinder. So why are you here, Izuku said. Straight to the point. I like that. And to answer your question, I get lonely and Halloween is the only time I can get off without scaring off men, Salem asked. You'd do that even without the white skin and red wrinkles, Izuku said. Wrinkles? How old do you think I am, Salem asked. As old as Ozpin, Izuku said. Well, I'll show you I'm much more youthful than he is and teach you a lesson about respecting your elders, Salem said. Bring it on, Izuku said. Salem then took Izuku into the room next door, but she wasn't able to show Izuku respect. Izuku showed her where she belongs. Izuku was surprised to see Glinda out in veil, and in a costume no less. Miss Goodwitch. What are you doing out here, and in costume, Izuku said. Oh, good evening, Mr. Midoriya. To answer your question, Janara and Titania wanted to go trick-or-treating, and Violet asked me to come along, Glinda said. But you didn't need to dress up in costume for that, Izuku said. Well, Glinda said. Janara gave you the puppy eyes, didn't she, Izuku asked. Yes, Glinda said. Well, might I say you look stunning in that costume, Miss Goodwitch. It shows off your curves nicely, Izuku said, slapping Glinda's butt. Mr. Midoriya. It's Glinda to you, Glinda said, pulling Izuku close. And it's Izuku to you, Izuku said. Show me a good time or you will be getting detention for that slap, Glinda said. Why not both, Izuku said. You're a naughty boy, Glinda said. You're a naughty teacher, Izuku said. Izuku and Glinda then headed into an alleyway and show each other how naughty they both were. Now, I expect you to come to my classroom for your dentation on Monday right after school, Glinda said. Yes, Glinda, Izuku said. Izuku, Janara yelled. Izuku turned to see Janara running up to him, and saw Peach and Titania not far behind. Hey, Janara. Enjoying Halloween, Izuku asked. Yes, I am. I love it, and I've got so much candy. I can't wait to eat it all, Janara said. Janara. Remember what Mom said. You'll get sick if you do that, Titania said. But I want to eat all the candy, Janara pouted. Janara, Titania is right. If you eat all that candy at once you'll get sick and then all that candy will go to waste. You don't want that, do you, Izuku asked. No, Janara said. Good girl, Izuku said, petting Janara's head. Why does she listen to you and not me, Titania asked. She's a child, Titania, most things she'll do don't make sense, Peach said. Hey, Janara said. So, what are you three meant to be? I only see one person in costume, Izuku said. Peach and Janara were in their normal outfits whilst Titania was wearing a tunic. Thank you. I worked hard on my goddess outfit, Titania said. I don't need a costume, I'm a little witch, Janara said. And today, I'm a mad scientist, Peach said. You're always a mad scientist, Izuku said. Fair point, Peach said. Can we go now? I want to get more candy, Janara said. Glinda, would you mind, Peach asked. No problem. Come on girls, Glinda said. Glinda then took Titania and Janara away. Is something the matter? Why did you ask Glinda to look after those two, Izuku asked. Oh, no reason really. I just thought we could test to see if this version of the aphrodisiac would work, and you're my best assistant. Do you mind testing it with me, Peach asked, pulling out a perfume bottle. Not at all, Professor Peach, Izuku said. Remember, I said to call me Violet when we're alone, Peach said. Violet sprayed the perfume and they quickly found out it was a success. I'd say that experiment was a success, Izuku said. I agree. But we'll have to conduct more tests. I wish to increase its potency, Peach said. Let me know when you need me, Izuku said. I need you right now. It seems like the effects are not quite over, Peach said. Not again, Titania said. Titania. How long have you been there, Izuku asked. Long enough. Mom, why, Titania asked. Sorry dear. I know you like him, but Peach said. Mom. You weren't supposed to tell him, Titania yelled. Whoops, Peach said. Titania. You like me, Izuku asked. Yes. I want you to fuck me and it doesn't help I've seen you fuck my mom twice now, Titania said. Wait, twice? You saw us the first time, Izuku asked. Well yeah. It was late at night, and it was time to go home. Me, Janara and Evelyn went to Mom's classroom and saw you two going at it. I covered Janara's eyes and took her home. Evelyn then sent me a video she took of you two, Titania said. So that's why she was dressed as a sexy scientist that night, Izuku said. Well then, Titania. Would you mind helping out? I would like to take some observations of the effects of the aphrodisiac, and I can't do that under its influence, Peach said. Mom. What the Titania said. Okay, Izuku said. What Titania said. Fantastic. Prepare yourself, Titania. He's a freight train, Peach said. Mom. You can't make it up to me, by Titania said. Peach then sprayed the perfume and fell silent before leaping at Izuku. Izuku was walking down the street, when all of a sudden, he was grabbed and pinned against a wall. You have some explaining to do, Winter said. Winter, what are you? Izuku said, blushing as he saw Winter's costume. She was wearing a blur skin-tight suit. I'll be asking the questions here. How many women have you fucked tonight? Winter asked. And why does that matter to you? My sex life is my private, Izuku. How many? Winter yelled. Why do you need to know? Izuku said. Because I need to know how many times I need to make you come as punishment, Winter said. What? Izuku asked. You heard me. How many times? Winter asked. 16, Izuku said. Then you best prepare yourself for your punishment, Winter said. Your costume has already made me prepared. You defiantly got lucky with those tits and ass. And you won't be punishing me, I'll be punishing you, Izuku said. No you won't, Winter said. Izuku soon proved Winter wrong and showed how much of a pervert she was. Izuku then saw something that really surprised him. He saw Seal wearing a devil outfit. Hey Seal, I'm surprised to see you here, Izuku said. Don't talk to me, Seal said. Seal. What's wrong? Izuku said. You know exactly what's wrong. I know what you've been up to tonight, and I will not succumb to you, Seal said. Is that so? Then I guess I'll just have to go and find another woman. If only there was someone who had the endurance to stop me, Izuku said, walking off. Hey. Get back here. I won't allow you to defile any more women, Seal said. Seal took Izuku into an alleyway, but she soon found out that she could not stop Izuku. Izuku was walking through Vale when all of a sudden. Hey boy toy, Coco said, jumping on him. Hey Coco. Nice costume, Izuku said. Coco was wearing a black suit with a red shirt. Thanks, you look good, boy toy. That blindfold is very kinky, Coco said. I wonder how many times I've heard that tonight, Izuku said. Glad I can add on to the count, Coco said. Hey, where's Velvet? I would have thought you two would have gone out together, Izuku said. Oh, she's around. She's just shy about her costume, Coco said. Sexy bunny, Izuku asked. Sexy bunny, Coco said. Of course. Confidence issues, Izuku asked. Yeah. Though she did say something to me. I know it wasn't what she really meant, but Coco said. What did she say? Izuku asked. She said she'll only come out if I let you fuck her. I know she didn't really mean it, but I thought it would be fun to get you. And who knows, she may go along with it. She is smitten over you and David, Coco said. I see. And what do I get in return? Izuku said. You get to fuck my girlfriend, isn't that enough? Coco asked. That's part of my helping you. What do I get in return for helping you out? Izuku said. You drive a hard bargain. Tell you what, you can have me. I've seen you always staring at my ass, Coco said. It is a nice ass. Okay, let's go, Izuku said. Great, Coco said. Coco and Izuku then went to Velvet. Hey Velvet. I got Izuku. Now hurry up and fuck him and come out, Coco said. Coco. I didn't really mean that, Velvet yelled. So you don't want me to fuck you? Izuku asked. No, Velvet said. Great. Then bend over already, Coco said. Izuku then boosted Velvet's confidence and then got some hot cocoa. Izuku then saw 3 women he recognized. They were Raven, Willow and Callie. Raven was dressed as a teacher. Willow was dressed as a princess. Callie was wearing cat-themed bra and panties. She had cat paw gloves on, and she had a tail. The three then saw him and ran up to him. "Oh fuck," Izuku said. "Fuck indeed," the three said, surrounding him. "Okay. Let's get on with it. I can't get out of this now," Izuku said. Izuku was then taken away. The time had passed since Izuku, David, Evelyn and Penny were supposed to meet up for the after party. Izuku had told them he would be late and that they could start without them. A while later Izuku arrived at the Love Hotel and saw Evelyn and Penny in sexy lingerie. They were covered in sweat and fluids. "Hey girls. Having fun?" Izuku asked. "Yeah. What kept you?" Penny asked. "MILFs," Izuku said. "Ah. I see," Evelyn said. Izuku then noticed something was off. "Did you bring a friend? I see 3 bras and panties, and is David not here?" Izuku asked. "Oh, he's here," but Penny said. "And we didn't invite a friend," Evelyn said. The door to the bathroom then, and out stepped David, but he was different. David was no longer a man. David was now a girl. "Wait, hold on. Why am I a girl all of a sudden?" David said. "Just keep reading and you'll find out," Madonna said. "Is there a sex scene between me, Penny and Theme David?" Evelyn asked. "Of course there is," Madonna said. "But why make David a girl?" Penny asked. "Because people like gender bends," Madonna said. "Okay. So how was David turned into a girl?" Jack asked. "Like I said before, keep reading and you'll find out," Madonna said. "Wait, does this mean there's going to be a sex scene of me fucking Theme David?" Izuku asked. "Yep, and her name is Dorothy," Madonna said. "Welp. We've come this far with all this bullshit just for sex, might as well finish it," Izuku said. The 5 then continued to read Madonna's Halloween entry into her anthology of hearts. "Happy Halloween everyone.